Decisions. Recently, I was sitting in the beauty shop getting a haircut. Now, let me stop right here before I go any further and make two observations about the statement I just made. First, if you had told me 40 years ago that I would go to a beauty shop to get my hair cut, I would have told you that you were crazy. Real men do not go to beauty shops to get their hair cut. They go to barbershops. Secondly, the same hairdresser has been cutting my hair for about 10 years. I've noticed that her job has certainly gotten easier of late. But be that as it may, while I was sitting there getting my hair cut, I noticed a young lady, probably 17 years of age, at the wash basin having her hair washed. Her hairdresser kept her there for what seemed to me an inordinate amount of time. She probably washed her hair for 10 to 15 minutes. Naturally, this piqued my interest. Being a man, I immediately surmised that either this poor young lady has some powerfully dirty hair or something was going on that I did not understand. When the hairdresser finished washing the young lady's hair, she seated her in a chair close to me. Naturally, being the inquisitive individual that I am, I struck up a conversation with her about why they washed her hair so long. Her answer was very interesting. She told me that before coming to the beauty shop, she had a multicolored hairdo. Her hair was dyed black, green, purple, pink, and red simultaneously. I guess she had a rainbow hairdo. Who knows? Anyway, she went on to tell me, I got tired of being wild. I wanted my hair all one color again. She went on to say that her mother had tried to dye her hair a solid color the night before at home. Evidently, this was a catastrophe. She said she told her mother that there was no way she was going to school with her hair looking like that. So, her mother was paying a professional hairdresser to dye her hair back to its natural light brown color. When I saw her, she was blonde. Now, the story gets more interesting. She told me that the reason her hair had to be washed for such a long time was to strip all the other colors out of her hair. Evidently, this turned her hair blonde. This was only part of a long process she had to go through to undo what she had done by dyeing her hair all those colors to begin with. First, she had to have her hair cut, have all the colors stripped out, and then the hairdresser would dye her hair as close to her natural color as possible. Then, over the course of the next 2 to 3 weeks, she would have to make several more trips to the beauty shop to adjust her hair color back to its natural color. Bless her heart, it was about 4 p.m. when I was speaking with her, and she had already been at the salon since 10 o'clock that morning. Now, as I began to think about all of this, I thought, there's got to be a devotion in there somewhere, and sure enough, you're hearing it. Each of our lives is nothing more than the sum total of all the decisions we have made, good or bad. Some decisions are readily reversed. Some require the intervention of a friend or a loved one to be reversed. Some require the intervention of a professional with all the associated cost, time, and effort to be reversed. And sometimes, even with the involvement of a professional, some decisions require us to go through a lengthy process to be reversed, if they can be reversed at all. Sadly, the effects of some decisions can never be reversed. In his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey says that whatever we endeavor to do in life, we should always begin with the end in mind. This is why when my boys would bring some girl home and say, "Dad, I think this is the one," I would look at them and say, "You better go look at her mama, because that's what you're going to have in 20 to 30 years. You'd better start with the end in mind." Wouldn't it be great if we learned to do what Stephen Covey suggests? What a better place the world would be, our families would be, and yes, even our churches would be, if we learned to start whatever we are going to do with the end in mind. I promise you that young lady I encountered in the beauty shop had no idea how challenging it would be to restore her hair to its original color. All she knew was that she wanted to be on the radical, cutting edge of fashion, and a rainbow hairdo was her ticket to get there. I wonder how many people fighting lung cancer or COPD would be doing so today if, when they picked up that first cigarette, they could have seen a picture of themselves 20 to 30 years in the future. And by the way, have you ever noticed that all the people who say they can quit smoking anytime they want never seem to want to? I wonder how many alcoholics would be alcoholics today if, when they had taken that first sip of beer, wine, or whiskey, they could have seen a picture of themselves 20 to 30 years in the future. I wonder how many crack addicts, heroin addicts, or any form of drug addict would be struggling with that problem today if, when they smoked their first joint, ran their first line, or did whatever it was they did to get high, they could have seen a picture of themselves 20 to 30 years in the future. I wonder how many couples struggling with divorce issues would be doing so today if, when they were about to say those I do's or were tempted to have an affair, could see a picture of themselves 20 to 30 years in the future and the innocent lives shattered by their decision. I wonder how many teenage unwed mothers would be that way today if, in that moment of passion, they could have seen a picture of themselves 9 months later, newborn baby totally dependent upon them for everything, no husband, no support, and the life they loved forever changed. I wonder how many people who are rejecting Jesus today would do so if they could see a picture of the future, a picture of themselves roasting like a duck in hell forever. And on I could go, but I believe the point is obvious. Again, our lives are nothing more than the sum total of all the decisions we have made, good or bad. Some are easily reversed, some are not. Some require the intervention of a professional and enduring a lengthy, costly, painful process to reverse the consequences of that decision. And even then, the consequences of some decisions can never be reversed. Sometimes we only get one chance to make the right decision. My encouragement to you today is twofold. First, whatever decision you are facing, always begin with the end in mind. Secondly, be sure you make the right decision concerning Jesus. In the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve made the wrong decision regarding sin. The reversal of their actions required the intervention of a professional, and I'm talking about Jesus, and the process was long and costly. But the finished work of Calvary gave us an avenue to reverse the effects of sin. If we make the wrong decision regarding Jesus and die that way, hell is our home, and the consequences are irreversible. Choose wisely. Begin with the end in mind. Hey, it's your decision. Lord, would you help us today to be wise regarding the decisions that we must make in our lives? And Lord, specifically regarding sin, would you remind us that it always takes us further than we want to go, costs us more than we want to pay, and keeps us longer than we want to stay. God, help us to make good decisions today. In your name, amen.